Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Doyin and welcome to Finding Doyin. On this channel we talk about relationships, we talk about being a better version of yourself. I share some of my experiences that I've been through in relationship, like work life, like things I've seen to try to help you avoid those same mistakes or to try to help you become a better person. Sometimes I do lifestyle, gossip here, vlogs here and there when I travel, but like that's all this channel is all about. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about boundaries. 3 weeks ago, I started like a series, a dating series, and we've done the first 2 episodes. The first one was basic, the second one, and then this is the third one about boundaries. This is going to be the last episode in that series. So if you haven't watched like the first 2, please check it out. If you're new on this channel, thank you for stopping by. And if you're an OG, you guys already know, welcome back to the family. Welcome back to another episode that promises to be very, very amazing. This episode is going to be shorter than the rest of the episodes because it's going to be very, very direct and straight to the point. So we're going to be talking about boundaries. Don't go anywhere. If it's something you're interested in, please like, subscribe. If you get to the end and you actually like it, please subscribe. Deal? Yeah, deal. Alright, don't go anywhere. We're going to be jumping into the video as soon as possible. Alright. Welcome back. So diving right into the topic of the day. Boundaries are so important, but what are boundaries, you may ask? So when this video started, like you saw the do not park here, towing sign, like you're going to tow your car, you park there basically. There's sometimes when you're driving on the road, you see stop, you see a stop sign, you see a yield sign, you see a one-way sign. Usually the government puts those signs up there because, not because they don't like you, not because they hate you, but because they're trying to protect you. They're trying to make sure you're safe, that you're not having accidents, so that you can be alive to pay your taxes and keep the country running, basically. But I'm just kidding. Aside that, like they're doing that to protect you actually, to make sure that every road user is actually safe. But those are boundaries, those are examples of like boundaries that the government puts on the road. So now what are boundaries? Boundaries are basic guidelines that you create to establish how people are able to behave around you. So if there's something that you do not like, that you feel like people are doing around you, you can create a boundary. And then next time people do it, like there's a reaction, like there's a consequence for the actions that people do, and then they know not to behave that way around you, like going forward. So that's what boundaries are. Boundaries keep you safe. Boundaries keep you like respected. You respect yourself, and then other people respect you. If people can do anything around you, like if you can just behave anyhow around you, and there's no consequences, then like people will actually not respect you. So boundaries are very, very necessary, and that's why I saw it fit to actually finish this series talking about boundaries. So I'm going to give you a quick story time, right? I have stories for days. I've been in the streets long enough. I came out from retirement, went to date. But yeah, stories for days, like I was saying, it's about, I was talking to this babe, right? And we had plans to see each other. I think we're supposed to go out, but and then something ended up happening. We couldn't like make it, and we're talking, and like it was like a little, it's not supposed to be this difficult to see you. I was like, yeah, I agree, like it's not supposed to be this difficult to see you too, because I had initiated like let's hang out one time, and she for some reason like she was not feeling it. Something came up basically. So something happened, and then she was like, oh, something like, you're an asshole. I was like, hold up. First of all, we're not going to pretend like that didn't just happen, like you didn't just try to insult me. Because one thing about me, like my top love language is words of affirmation, right? So like when people try to use words to like hurt me, like it's very, very annoying, and it's very, very painful. So it's a boundary that I created around myself. Like I would not be in a relationship, in a talking stage, in a friendship where someone verbally like abuses me. I'm not going to take it. Like so immediately I called out like, hey, like that's one thing we're not going to do. Like in this, whatever this is, that's something that I won't accept. Usually like most guys just accept like verbal abuse, and even some guys accept physical abuse, right? In the sense that, oh, she's just a lady, she's punching me, like it doesn't really have like much effect. So they accept that. So there's no boundary around that, and that's why people behave like some ladies behave around them anyhow. You understand? But like if you create those boundaries around yourself, then people, like I was able to check her immediately, and then she apologized. And that's the thing, like when people know they can't behave somehow around you, then they're going to do better. So like you're raising your standard, and then people are going to behave better around you. So basically that's what that is. So boundaries are actually very, very good. Boundaries are great like for you, for like your family, for like the person that you're in a relationship with, right? if someone shares their boundaries with you, this is what I feel. I feel like if someone shares their boundaries with you, it means that they respect you and they actually want to, they see something with you and they don't want you to like cross those boundaries. I've had people, there was this lady like I met, that was back in college, that was a long time ago. And if you say, oh, hey, my dear, she'll be like, I don't like that word. And you'll be like, that word is not, she'll be like, I don't like it. That. So if you're trying to compliment her, if you really want her to be happy, then you don't say, oh, hey, you look beautiful, my dear, like, because she doesn't like the word, you understand? So, like, some people don't like some stuff, and then you have to respect them. So, like, it creates this sense of respect around people, right? So I feel like boundaries are very, very, very necessary. And if someone tells you their boundaries, then it means it's because they actually like you enough to, like, want you to do better around them, and, like, they demand that respect. And, I mean, if you respect them, then they're going to respect you back, right? And then you're not going to behave anyhow. So there's the chances of them falling for you, or the chances of them actually liking you, goes up like astronomically, or astronomically. That's the word. So astronomically it goes up. So yeah, if someone tells you the boundaries, make sure you adhere to those boundaries and just do better by them, right? So something else is, there are all kinds of boundaries. There's sexual boundaries, there are emotional boundaries, there are physical boundaries, work balance, life boundaries. Like if your oga at work is emailing you by 12 a.m. or on the weekend when you're watching Champions League. No, you don't watch Champions League on the weekend. When you're watching you're watching football, or you're just chilling on the weekends with your family, and then like your boss is like sending you emails like back to back to back. That's not a healthy boundary. Like, you shouldn't even be working for those kind of companies, right? Because like they don't have boundaries. They don't allow like their staff to have like that healthy balance of like work and life. Because you're not just like a worker bee. You're not just supposed to be working, like you're not even paid to work on the weekends, right? Except like that's your job description. But like, we should have boundaries in all aspects of your life and in all areas of your life. And having boundaries will really, really help you. So how much of boundaries is too much boundary? People, I'm sure you'll be asking, like, okay, yeah, I want to have boundaries, but like, how much of it is too much? Like, some people be like, oh, I'm not a texting person. That's their own boundary. That's their own boundary. I don't feel like that's only boundary. Like, I feel like it's people like just have like a way they get comfortable with other people. So some people be like, oh, I don't text. Some people be like, oh, I don't call like people. I don't do this. I don't do that. So how much of it, like when you get into a relationship, how much of it is compromise? I feel like it's a gradual process. And I know that you should not rush people to bring down like their boundaries. I mean, eventually, like in a relationships usually are usually about like a balance of compromise. Like there's something you don't like, or there's something like you don't really do, and there's something this person doesn't like doing. You guys along the line are going to meet in the middle. Even though you don't meet in the middle on that particular thing, the person you're going to understand her boundaries, then she's going to understand your boundaries, and you guys will be able to work around it in the middle, because two of you have like separate upbringings, so there are things you see life differently on, right? I was talking to this girl recently, and we're talking about like concerts and how much money to spend on concert, like how much money like you can basically spend on a concert. And then like we're talking about, oh, like this show is like $1,000. I was like, there's no way I'm spending like $1,000 to go to a show to go and see people that have heard their music on like iTunes or something. And then we somehow stumbled on the fact that it was like $200 or something. And I was like, I'm not going to spend $200 to go see these particular people. This is the kind of music I can spend $200 to go see like the artist and be like in the moment. But I'm not going to spend $200 on that particular distance. And she was repeating that, oh, like it's once in a lifetime, and it's just, and that was very, very impulsive to me. Like I'll just discover that, okay, this is $200, and then I'll come and buy tickets and just go. So like I feel like along the line, you guys will be able to meet somewhere in the middle. You understand? So sometimes, right, the level of compromise that you have to get to, it takes a while. Like it's a gradual process. You can't rush somebody into something that you've like into being the person that you've always been, if that makes sense. I'm looking for like a perfect example that I can use. Okay, let's say for example, right? You don't eat onions. Let's say that's your own boundary. You don't eat onions. And then you're dating someone that eats onions, or you're in a talking stage with someone that eats onions. Now, how are you guys going to be cooking? Like, are you going to be cooking two separate like meals? Are you guys going to be eating like separate meals all the time? Or like, are you guys going to meet in the middle? So one of the ways to do that, like, right, I have like someone very close to me that she doesn't like seeing her onions in her food. And people will be like, oh, like, so your husband, what if your husband eats onions? So your children will not eat onions. And she'll be like, I can blend the onions inside the food. Like, I don't have any problem blending it. I just want to see the onions that I'm eating. So that could be a level of boundary. I mean, it sounds very, very comical and very, very funny. But like, that's how boundaries work. Like, you might want to compromise, but like not also making sure that you're not eroding your own self-respect and your own self-dignity. Because in the end, if you erode your own self-respect and dignity, then you're going to end up hating that person. And the person won't find you attractive anymore. Most of the time, you see guys, especially, like you see some guys that say, okay, I fell in love with this, she's a strong, independent woman, she's a this, she's a that and that. And then when you guys get married, the person, like maybe the lady now becomes very, very laid back. You're like, oh, this one. And the guy will be like, oh, I don't find you attractive anymore. The thing that made me fall in love with you, like you don't have it anymore. Or like the guy will try and change you and be like, oh, don't go out. Like, who is taking care of the home? Who is doing this? Like, you're working too much. And then the lady stops working too much and becomes more laid back. And then the guy is like, oh, you don't find the person attractive again, because the thing that actually made you attracted to the person were the boundaries. As crazy as it sounds, people are attracted to people who have like self-respect. If you have no self-respect, people won't really find you attractive. I mean, there's some people that find you attractive just because, but like people that have sense won't find you attractive if you don't have self-respect. So in a sense, boundaries are sexy. Boundaries are very, very sexy. Boundaries are like butt cheeks, because everybody has a couple of them. You understand? So if you have boundaries, you're more sexy. So this is your cue to have boundaries for yourself. You understand? So enough about like the whole compromise thing. A boundary is good, a boundary is bad. I feel like boundaries are great. Just like you say, is a cup of hot coffee good, or a cup of hot coffee is bad? It depends. If the coffee spills on your leg hot, then that's bad for you. But if the coffee goes through your throat and keeps you awake so that you can hit your KPI at work, then that's great. So boundaries, if you overextend them and you're not willing to compromise, it might be bad, because it might hurt you, like in the long run, it hurts your relationship, it hurts you. But like if you're able to work around them with the person that you actually feel like you have a future with, then boundaries are actually very, very great. I'm going to end this episode with another story time, which was great, which was like one of my eye-openers into like how boundaries are so essential. So there was this lady that I met, very, very beautiful. We're talking, and we had gone on like a date, amazing date. Like that was one of like the best dates I had been to at the time. Like it was absolutely amazing. We talked like all through, like just like very, very vibey. We got to know each other a lot. Like it was very, very interesting. And then we went our separate ways. We went home, and then I texted. I mean, usually I text her and everything. Like we were talking and talking. And then there was a time we were going somewhere, and I was just like trying to get to know her more. I was like, because I don't like saving people's names, like with, like maybe I met you like at the coffee shop. I'll be like, oh, Samantha coffee shop. You know how Nigerians can be now. I can do that kind of thing. So I was like, I felt like we've passed that stage of Samantha coffee shop. And I was like, oh, hey, like, what's your last name? You know, like just trying to get to know you, like, you know, small talk, you know. And then she was like, why do you want to know? I was like, I mean, I just want to know, like, you know, just to get to know you better, and like, so that when I save your name on my phone, it's not going to be like just Samantha coffee shop. Her name is not Samantha though, by the way. Just, you know, to protect the identity of the people involved. So yeah, I did that, and she was like, that she tried to change the topic. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I was just gonna check LinkedIn. She didn't say anything. So fast forward, like the next week, I was at work, and then during my break, I was like, oh, you don't try. I said I was going to check like this baby on LinkedIn, and then I went to LinkedIn, mess up. I didn't see like her last name on LinkedIn. I just saw like the abbreviation. What is going on? Well, this is giving Tinder swindler vibes. What was happening? You know, and then you know how LinkedIn will go and cast you. That's one thing I don't like about LinkedIn. LinkedIn will go and cast you that, oh, somebody looked at your profile, and then LinkedIn went to report. I mean, I was not hiding it. I didn't know what LinkedIn was going to do, but I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. I didn't think I was encroaching on a serious boundary right there, right? And LinkedIn went and reported me that, oh, Doyin is looking at your profile. And then she sends me a text like, 2 hours later, she was like, why were you, what are you doing checking my LinkedIn? I was like, oh, I was just trying to actually find the last name and all. She was like, what did I tell you? Like, when you asked me, I was like, you didn't say anything. She was like, exactly, that's because I didn't want to tell you that I felt like you encroached on my boundaries. And I felt so bad. Actually, I felt very, very bad because I didn't know it was that big of a deal. And I apologized, like, I'm very, very sorry that won't happen again, this and that, you know. And I just, like, you know, took like a whole step back. I was like, I don't want to piss like this person off because we got off to a great start, but now like I've crossed a boundary I didn't even know existed. I salute her for like bringing that up and like, oh, like this is my boundary and I'm not going to bend on this. But like I didn't know like it was a boundary. I didn't know it was a serious boundary. But like now that I know, I'm not going to go and be looking for people like, oh, like let me go and check their Insta. If they don't tell me their name, I'll just like take it slowly. And that's why I say like usually compromises on boundaries are like a gradual process. So you have to be able to be patient and let people like open up to you like when they're ready to do so. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope that in your adventures and your dating life, you guys are able to find love, you know, and respect each other's boundaries, compromise where there needs to be, and have a beautiful, beautiful love life. That's one of the things I'm here for you guys for. I'm rooting for you guys. So that brings us to the end of this channel. Hey, not the end of this channel, no. We did here. Next week we'll be here. Sorry I didn't have a video last week. I was going through it mentally. One day we'll talk about it. I was going through it mentally, but I'm back. So thank you guys for watching. This brings us to the end of this episode, and this is the end of the dating series. I appreciate you guys that have always supported throughout like these 3 weeks of the dating series. Some of you have even been reminding me that waiting for the episode. So I'm really, really grateful. If you enjoyed this episode, no lie to yourself. Don't deceive yourself. If you enjoyed this episode, please like it because it helps like the algorithm. Share, subscribe. Let me know what you feel in the comment section. Let me know like the boundaries, the things that you're unwilling to bend about and the things that you're willing to compromise about. Also, if there's any content that you want me to create, let me know. Like, let me know. I'm going to take a look at it and I'm going to come up with like a sketch and I'm going to make it for you guys because you guys run the show on this. You guys run the shit on this channel. So yeah, thank you very much. I love you guys and have a blissful, blissful week ahead. Bye bye.